Welcome to a special edition of the Grow Shop. This is the first one where we're doing it live and deadly. And I was going to say it was based on popular demand, but it was based on us just thinking it would be quite a fun idea. Because through COVID, everything has been screened and screened and screened. So now we thought it would be a nice opportunity to talk to people in person. So that's what we're doing. We have a very special guest. So I would like to welcome, and we're talking about it before. So in Australia, we pronounce it Ivan, which is not nearly as beautiful as Ivan, which is the way that they pronounced it here. So I got corrected very quickly by my lovely girlfriend here, Nastya, who is here. But Ivan has done some absolutely amazing things and is the CMO of, and I would say one of the best known brands probably all through Ukraine. So it'd be good to get a little bit of an introduction about what you're doing at Parimatch. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to share how I first discovered your amazing company where you held the CMO title. When I first moved here, I did the classic gringo thing where I thought it would be really cool to live in the center of the center. So when I'm meeting people, I'm like, yeah, I live in Krashasik, which I thought it was impressive. But then anyone I'm meeting is like, this guy's just some gringo. But opposite where I live is one of your giant billboards. So every morning that I wake up and every night, we've got Zoom here, which has this like orange glow. So you've actually been saying good morning to me ever since I moved here for about a year.
It's the most expensive out-of-home advertisement here in Kyiv.
Is it?
Yep.
Wow. I could kind of tell. I could kind of tell because it's absolutely freaking massive. So yeah, I thought that was funny. But it would be good to get a bit of a breakdown about what the company's all about for those that don't really understand, and then just a little bit about what you're doing. And then for everybody else, we're just going to talk about a bunch of random stuff here, which started from our initial chat. We're talking about the bullshit of growth titles and then the reality of growth titles, talking about UX versus non-UX copywriters. We're talking about building teams internationally, and we're talking about the Ukraine tech scene, which is truly phenomenal. But yeah, just a little bit about what the company's doing and what you're doing there.
So basically, thank you for the introduction. First of all, you just started like a bit whispering, like we on some indie radio station somewhere in the United States.
Late night
radio, Kansas, KMDB.
And that's it from KMDB.
But nevertheless, we're not there here in Kyiv.
One can dream, man. Maybe that's the next one.
So basically, our company is a tech company because we have a lot of engineers over here in the company, product managers, and so on. So firstly, we're a technology company with a quite interesting stack of technologies, but basically we monetize ourselves on the betting and gambling industry. So the iGaming stuff is all about us, and that's it. We operate on a bunch of markets. Our industry isn't quite easy because it's hardly licensed. We use all the models for the growth hacking, let's say it this way, because we're operating on our platform with our brand. We're operating with our brand on other platforms, like on the white label ones.
Interesting.
We sell franchise, so we are giving our brand for the brand royalty in some regions. For example, we also operate in the UK, but not as an operated company, but we just selling our brand over there. Yeah. So with all this stuff, basically marketing comes first. As you understand, if somebody in UK wants to buy your brand, it seems that this brand costs something.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Interesting, man. And I think one of the big things that stands out straight away is that it's a technology company. Mm-hmm. Has it always been like that, or is this something that you came in to try and, I guess, enhance and to try and support and to build a stronger platform?
We haven't been a technology company all the time, let's say that way. And when you're talking about industry at all, a lot of companies just using some white label solutions. Yeah. For example, when you come to some betting shop in London, you may find like 3 betting shops like Coral, Ladbrokes, William Hill, some other ones, but Fred I don't know. So you're coming out there, and all you see in the interfaces are the same, but in different colors. So they are not choosing the way like we choose to be the technology company, not only operating company. Yeah. It's not bad. It's just the way. Yeah. But we consider ourselves as a technology company, and that's it. For quite a long time, the company started as a retail company, let's say. Yeah. Because like 25 years ago, I think anyone apart from Bill Gates didn't know about internet exists.
Yeah.
and nobody knows it's 5G.
Yeah.
Transfers the COVID, except for Bill Gates.
He's still got it. Old Billy's still got it. Yeah.
So basically, the company started as a retail company, the operating company.
Yeah.
But we moved to more technology way in 2015, because in 2014, guys started like IT company, but it was like near Parimatch.
Yeah.
It was like the idea that they have to be the operating company and the technology company that develops something to operate on. But like in 3 or 4 years time, it became absolutely visible that we have to shift and just put these companies together. And basically, from that time, I don't think in like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, the main thing happened when we said that there are business units, and these business units are responsible for the technology growth of all that they want. So basically, if accountants want something to make better, that can, if they can use IT technology, they have to do it by themselves, not looking for someone who will come and help them. As well, marketing, as well, billing, and all other streams.
Interesting. So then it all centralizes on an internalized technological kind of foundation.
We have like more decentralized model rather than centralized, because talking about the technology stack, different groups, different business units basically may use different stack. It's not like the one big product company. We doing our front ends on the React, we doing all our backends on the .NET only. And if you want middleware, it has to be only Node.js, for example. It's not like that way. Someone likes Java, they building up all the application on Java. For example, my stack in my department in marketing basically is PHP with Laravel and Symfony is the main frameworks. So that's it. Everyone chooses what he wants to choose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
As long as there's enough integration where it needs to happen.
Oh,
or is it that much more consolidated that it doesn't really matter if they're achieving their goals?
We once have chosen the strategy of the super app. So basically, we're talking that we have like the core platform, and this core platform have to have the ability to integrate. But basically, when we're talking about marketing, for example, we work with the external thing much more than with internal. So basically, we have to know what happens to our customers when they're coming. We have to be integrated, but it's more like not to be like second to second and so on. So if you know about something in 10 minutes, it's okay. So we don't need very, very close integrations, but nevertheless, we're quite close. So it's not a big problem. But talking about, for example, CRM in our company, for which I'm responsible as well, there is quite another stuff. Because if someone just pushes the button, I accepted bonus, it's inappropriate when this bonus comes in 15 minutes. But we had it like 2 months ago. We just fixed it.
So that's more of a UX, I guess that's a UX side thing versus an analysis type of piece where you'd make decisions on the back end. That's like a user experience piece for an extraction of a bonus.
You can talk a lot about like some user experience frameworks and all this stuff, make any researches. But when you're just dropping money into the wallet in 15 minutes time, it's just an eternity for any digital business.
Yeah. People are scratching their arms. They're like, where's my fucking money?
Absolutely.
Interesting, man. So I was reading about one of the different, I thought this was really cool, actually. So this I got off the site, which is, we are redefining what it means to be a global betting business by being a brand of firsts. From our aggressive marketing strategy to our partnerships spanning this is fun. We're going to talk about this stuff. Partnerships spanning UFC, eSports, and international football. We're always looking to excite our customers in new and surprising ways. So what are some of the firsts that you've been cracking when we talk about that?
Is it my quote?
Yeah. that was the PR team wrote it. You're like, yeah, I wrote that. You're like, I would have never said that. Let me rephrase it. So what have been some of the more exciting progressive things that you guys have done versus, I guess there's always the strategy, isn't it? Like you could be looking at the UK, which has a lot of the innovation, where instead of just matching, you've done something that's been completely different, that's worked quite well for you guys.
Look, I would say that
that you're allowed to share publicly.
No, all these quotes are. I saw all these quotes, and some of the quotes I even said, even in some shows or interviews. So it's absolutely good because I'm not like the PR man from that side. They're just not writing the quotes for me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So talking about why we are quite others, because we love our brand very much. I would be quite sure when I'll say to you that 95% of companies won't do so much stuff about the brand as Parimatch does. That's absolutely for sure. And I feel it. Our previous chief executive officer, Sergey, also feels a brand. So we just think about it every morning. But when you're becoming a very big brand, you have like another problem. Not only develop it, not only seeing how to change it tomorrow or how your audience will accept it and so on, but also the challenge for me now is to distribute it internally the right way. Because when you have like 2,000 plus people in a company, and from that 2,000, let's say 1,500 works with brand closely, like a media buying specialist, for example, who pulls the creative, some art directors and so on. You have to communicate that something happening to brand constantly. So now that's the challenge. But I would say that brand, all this brand stuff, building us away from our competitors. The second thing I would say is technology, because really a lot of things, a lot of companies consider themselves as just operating companies. But we doing it quite another way. And the third thing, I think that we take a risk, because this business is a risky business for both sides. And for example, when we started buying all these global sponsorships, Juventus, Leicester City, and so on, it was like a challenge for us, because it was like you're buying yourself a very good Brioni suit, but you don't have any place to come with this Brioni suit. So but you understand that if you want to come to the Queen of England, to Buckingham Palace, you have to have this Brioni suit, but she didn't ask to come. So that was the situation about sponsorship.
Interesting. So the sponsorship one is really interesting, and I think it changes as a brand gets really big. How do you think about attribution and then ROI when you're doing things such as Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson, whether it's just, it's the right activity, you're leveraging them, but attribution is so difficult when you're running multimedia, you're running everywhere you possibly could. How do you think about ROI?
Look, I can talk a lot about ROI in terms of sponsorships when you have some direct media value. Like Chelsea, Leicester, I'll tell a bit about it. But when we're talking about the brand ambassadors, it's more about trust. When you want to buy trust,
interesting,
you can buy some brand ambassadors. So now we just passed that way. We do not like. We're not depending so much on brand ambassadors like we did like 3 years time ago. Why? Because the brand is quite big, and now we have Chelsea, for example, with a bunch of ambassadors, let's say. But like 3 years ago, Chelsea won't even shake our hand, let's say.
Interesting.
But now we are a big enough company. We are a reliable partner. Everyone knows it on the market. And so you can come to a big club and say, let's do business together. And they say, okay, that's good. So when we're talking about, for example, Tyson and McGregor was like, for that time, it was like the Parimatch brand hero. So when you're thinking about Parimatch, when you're thinking of being with Parimatch, if you with Parimatch, you are like Conor McGregor. That was the clear communication. So basically, Conor made all this work for us as the hero. But talking about the sponsorship, it is much more interesting situation because we have like LED boards across the pitch, and that's much more interesting because now we're modeling. We have like with our partners, we just take the video stream. How did everyone see it on the TV basically? Then we just finding out for how long our advertising was on the pitch. Because, for example, you can buy the 10 minutes of LED advertising, but after all, for 2 minutes there will be the red card situation. In 2 minutes there will be penalty situation. For 30 seconds, the coaches will be shown instead of showing the pitch where your advertising is, the injury and all this stuff. So from the 10 minutes, you may get just 2 minutes, for example, but you paid for the 10 one.
Interesting. And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, that's absolutely the reality. You can be very lucky, and it will be opposite situation. You can be very unlucky. So you can just get 0. But nevertheless, we have to understand firstly, how much did we really get to the video stream all over the world? And that's the first is like, for us is a possibility to count the media ROI. But the most interesting thing that we now modeling the turnover, the plus of turnover that we are getting from this advertising. So basically, we have a model that says, for example, you would have like $1,000 turnover on this match if there were no advertising of Parimatch. But as we have it, we like have 1,100. So we understand that this plus 10% of turnover and basically of our revenue after all is the effect of this placement. After that, we understand that we have all the season, and we have like of course we have the user base is growing. We have more countries, but basically you have your analytics team have to just look at it and say the real effect of this advertising. So you can count it. It took from us like 3 or 4 months to set up the process from 0, because from one side you have to picture the match, from the very beginning till the very end. Then you have to build up this computer vision, that will find your logo when it appears, and after that you have to put it with your statistics and understand that if your logo was shown from the 10th minute to 11th minute, you have the post effect. You have post effect in 4 minutes time. So these bets can be attributed. That's the thing of the sponsorships, because they not working for acquisition. They're working for the brand building. Basically for the media knowledge and so on. And from the other side, they're working for the retention. So you just say to your customers, "Oh, don't forget, you just watching the game. Please come to us." That's it.
Isn't that interesting? So how do you take into account if there's multiple different camera angles? So I guess wherever you're buying it, will they send you the estimated time that something's live times the different angles? But what if there's multiple different TV stations that are going to be broadcasting the game that would be using different camera angles? We have to check all of those to then try and get total exposure?
No, we do not have like access to the technical video feed. We just have the one that's going to, let's say, 90% of
to the primary feed.
To the primary feed, and we think that it's okay. Because it's the other money as the processes, it won't affect so much when we going to this let's say 10% of quite as the feed. Basically, you understand that for example, of course, in some countries, maybe like pundits in England, they just commenting the game, have some comments before the game. But it won't play a lot of role for us, so we don't.
So the net to try and analyze that additional 10% that would be reduced exposure.
Yeah, we're not trying. We're just taking them
that's
as
a
a primary.
beast of a job.
Yeah.
I'd never even thought about it. It's amazing, isn't it? Because you'd think with the LED that it would be so sophisticated that you could just get an extraction from a feed or something. You're like, no. So it's like, your job, buddy, today, you got to watch the whole game and just tick it off and count it.
In some, I know some companies that really did it such a way.
Yeah.
When we started buying out LEDs, also we asked our junior specialists. They just came with some stopwatch
and some popcorn.
And so they just work with a stopwatch all this time.
Wow!
But it's not like the process that can expand for the new countries.
Yeah.
So you won't have. It happens on Saturday or Sunday, the majority of the matches. So it's not the working days, let's say.
Yeah.
People also have to have their weekends with the families.
Yeah.
So basically, I understood from the first moment that we had to do it automatically.
Wow. And that wasn't happening before you were there?
It wasn't happening. It was just my idea, and we with the team did it.
Man, that's very cool. I'd never thought about it like that kind of detail. Because we've always had challenges even running like TVCs or even running radio. We try and build econometric models to just have light bits of lift. But it's still soft. But we wanted to get to a level of confidence where we knew that we could spend into it and we'd at least break even, and we'd know there'd be a halo effect and there'd be some kind of net positive impact on the back end.
It's the same econometrics, basically. The same guy that did econometrics in other companies, we took this guy. Also, the same way, we make correlations between our TVC and our traffic to the website, and extrapolating all this information to our revenues.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's all because we are a digital business.
Yeah,
because we can understand how much additional customers we had in the particular minute after the particular commercial. That's it.
Yeah. Man, I love it. Very, very smart. So what about eSports? What's happening there? What kind of growth rate are you seeing? I saw there were shifts that were accelerated because of things like COVID, but what's sticking around? What's going to happen?
I love eSports very much. Our company is committed to eSports, basically. Do you prefer CSGO or Dota?
I actually don't watch eSports.
Okay.
But maybe this could be the moment of inspiration. But I am interested in what's happening in the market trends. That's huge.
I think that Dota 2 is the next big thing in terms of all the sports.
Yeah. Would you mind explaining it, just in terms of breaking down what it is?
You even don't have to understand what happens, because you're just watching the game.
Yeah.
There are much more effects, much more colors. The picture is much better than football or tennis have. So it's just much more interesting. And the main thing that, like, have you ever watched Formula 1?
Yeah, of course.
So when you want to watch Formula 1, you have to understand quite deeply what's happening. On which tires are they now? Is it rainy day or not? What is the chance of rain, basically, if it's the Spa race? So you have to understand the vehicle, basically, on the new motor or the old one. All this stuff. So if you're interested in it, you may read a lot of information. If you're not interested, you're just looking at it, you understand nothing. It's just like, 3 overtakes in 10 minutes, I'll go home. That's
it. But waiting for the crash. Just give me some action. I want to see something flipping and burning.
But in Dota 2, for example, there are two sides. If you understand nothing, it just crashes. There are always something happening. Some fire, lights, and so on. If you like to be a sophisticated watcher, like as I said, for example, like Formula 1, you can know all these 100 plus heroes. What are they doing? Versus which heroes are the better? Versus which heroes they are less good? So all this stuff can be you can be interested in it and get into it. So as I think, and we invest quite a lot in esports now. Basically, team spirit. the winners of the international, the main Dota championship, they are sponsored by Parimatch.
Bang.
Yeah.
Молодец.
But the final was like Team Spirit versus PSG LGD. It was sponsored by the Betway.
Yeah.
So it was not the teams, it was like Parimatch versus Betway.
Yeah. That's the true head-to-head. Yeah. It's really interesting. And what do you think is going to happen with the trends in terms of viewership or engagement, or I guess the amount of bets going through?
The main thing is that esport market is quite fragmented.
Yeah.
Because we have like China, Nordic countries, Eastern Europe that are keen on CSGO and Dota 2. There is North America with League of Legends, Call of Duty, and other stuff. There are some, let's say, tier 3 markets. They do not have desktop, so they can't enter the category of Dota 2, Call of Duty, and so on, because they do not play, as they don't have the desktop.
What are those markets?
PUBG.
Yeah.
African markets, Indian market, for example, they have PUBG and all these mobile games, and they are keen on, but it's not. It's quite far from esports. You can't understand how to what to do with it. Also, there is, for example, Korea, also with the League of Legends, but you think, oh, China is good at Dota 2, for example, and you say, oh, South Korea is also have to be good at Dota 2, but no, they have.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because there are also a lot of things like where are the servers, basically, what is the ping for the servers.
Interesting.
Yeah, and for example, why Dota 2 and CSGO are good in China and in Eastern Europe, as example. Because there is some servers and players are able to play with each other and become better. But for example, talking about South Africa and all the Africa, they are too far from all the good servers. So if you are a good player from South Africa, you have almost no chance. There are like some cluster of these teams, but they can do nothing on the world level because there is too few really good players to train each other. It's quite interesting in terms of esports. It's not like you can just bring the coach and that's it. It's just trainings. But what I think also about the esports, the good things are that when we're talking from the perspective of betting, it's absolutely good for betting because there are a lot of points. It's not like football with scoring 1, 2, 3 goals in the match and it's okay. There are always some kills, some drops, and so on. So you have a lot of things you can accept your bets on. These things are happening constantly. That's good for us. So you can accept bet, and after a short time, just settle that bet, and then you can accept the second bet, and so on and so on. So it happens all the time. Also, there is no problems with the video streaming because, for example, you can't buy, or it would be too expensive to buy some rights, for example, for Champions League. Or Europa League for your website, but with the esports there is no such a problem. Twitch for everyone. That's it. So I think that esports will become more and more popular. The problem is that the United States are quite far from all this, let's say, European and Asian stuff like Dota 2 and CSGO. But as you may know, like 60 to 70% of the sports money and budgets are basically allocated within the United States because they are the wealthiest nation in all the world. They're ready to spend money for their NFL, NBA, MLB, and so on. So all these, English Premier League, it would be like, I don't know, 8th or 9th championship after all these leagues of the United States. So when Americans will find their key sport and everyone would accept it, that would be absolute bang. As far as they just going and watching their League of Legends, it's not like ideal thing for us.
Man, it's going to be a torrent as soon as those things, those pieces. Well, think about it the other day in the US. Like it's insanity where their preferences as well. We were driving down like a dirty road in Texas once, and then we wanted to get like an authentic shitty bar. And we walk inside. It was when the US was in the World Cup, and we're like, it's going to be on every screen. This is all they're going to care about. We're like, where's the World Cup? They're like, what's that damn sport? That foot one? And I'm like, yeah, that foot one. And they were watching like Major League Baseball, and they had TVs playing reruns of like college ball. And then the football was being played on a TV. It was this big near the toilet, and that's it. So I'm like, you guys are just in a different planet. But what do you think is going to happen in the US? So there's some predictions of when gambling is going to be more and betting is going to be more legal.
Basically, a majority of the states is now have the legislation. For gambling and betting. That's a good thing. The problem with the US market is that they want to, like, everyone to have the license, not only the products, but they also want to marketing. All that are doing marketing for the betting and gambling should be licensed as well, and all this ecosystem have to be controlled by them. From one side, it's okay. From the second side, it may be the only successful case when no one will doing offshore business over there, because that's the United States. No one wants to fuck with the United States. I'm not sure if swearing over here, but everyone's understand that you shouldn't do it. For sure. So when we're talking about other countries, there are always someone who are trying to operate in China, for example. Gambling is banned in China. There is like death penalty for that, but no way. Every time someone is trying to do it. So when you're talking about the United States, everyone understands that everyone wants to go to California, Florida, New York for the Christmas holidays. So everyone understands that you just have to be a good boy for the US market. So that's the only chance. That's the only example where maybe will be the real good regulated market, but it also depends on for them to be wise enough not to just try to scratch everything.
And get the naughty stick. Could it be different with esports though? Because you see things like fantasy football, which is a way of kind of circumventing some of the legislation. Do you think esports can be a way around that?
Let's say that data fantasy sport is quite away from the real betting. It's really slow. Like you have 2 settles during a week. It's very slow, and the first moment Americans go to the real betting, they won't be back for the daily fantasy sport. And all these M&A deals, when some operators buying other operators or the DFS, it's just buying out their customer base. It's not about really doing business, and the monetization of the daily fantasy sports is quite other from the betting and gambling. So I don't think that there are like long-term perspectives of 15 years for the daily fantasy sport, but in the next 5-7 years it would be like okay, but it would just fade away. The decline and fall in 15 years. I think that's for sure. Talking about esports, you are right quite a lot, because there is an audience for the esports. It's quite big and good in the United States. From the other hand, the daily fantasy sport may become some like soft entering to the betting market for all this audience. Not from the perspective of the operators, but from the perspective of the audience. They may come from there. And also, as you understand, there can be like some betting with skins, all this stuff that is operated basically by the gaming platforms. Not daily fantasy sport, but on the gaming platforms. So
interesting.
If they're trying to do it in such a way, as I said, as a soft entering, with no real money gambling, but also almost real money gambling with all the skins. So it may enter a lot of audience of young Americans to the category, and it may work out.
Interesting. And do you think anything to do with, say, crypto could be a way of bypassing it where it's not hard, traditional, easily traceable cash?
All clever people, even with ability to accept bets or make gambling in crypto, trying to avoid the United States.
Yeah.
There are always some guys that trying to do business over there with crypto. You know, I just been to one little conference, and I saw my old not friend but guy I know, and I said, oh, how his business is going. Just came to the similar web, tapped in his website, and looking a lot of traffic coming from the United States.
Yeah.
I think he is just something happened to him.
He disappeared, and we've never seen him again. He's now in Guantanamo.
I even didn't come to him to greet him. And in a few days, I just met another friend of mine. I said, have you been at this conference? He said, I've been. Have you seen this guy? He said, I've seen. I say, I came to similar web, and so he is driving traffic from the United States. He said, I do the same thing. And I came to him and I say, why are you doing that? He said, what's the problem? Okay, just no questions. So
yeah, you'll hear the problem when you see a Black Hawk helicopter and then the guy's kicking down the windows. Yeah,
that's it. So there are. He is not very, like, let's say, intelligent and so on. So maybe he doesn't know, but it doesn't matter for the United States.
Yeah.
Let's say.
And I guess they're just different businesses, isn't it? Like, you guys are building an empire. If you're playing in the murky waters like this, it's a churn and burn type of business.
Yeah, maybe you're right, because you can earn some money, but you can't build empire for sure. And you have, like, just say, I would go for the vacation, I don't know, for Hainan in China, that's it. So I won't fly to any tier 1 countries. Okay, if someone chooses to live this life.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them. Yeah, that's it.
Good for them.
But basically, I believe in the traced crypto history in the United States, and all this situation with Robinhood shows us that they may do things. So Americans have interest in some gambling, and for me, Robinhood basically is like indicative product for all the gambling market in the United States. And their growth, I can't recall for sure, but during the COVID, they more than doubled. I think more than doubled, in terms of their turnovers. So it shows interest. They are really eager to bet some way. It's like, you know, if the British people were making their bets from the 19th century on all these horse tracks and so on, the Americans, they do bets, but that's called Wall Street.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That's all Robinhood really is as well. Like, if you're not at the level where you're an accredited investor, it's just gambling.
Yeah,
and it's no different from crypto. It's like buying a shit coin or a meme coin. It's really no different. There's no level of sophistication or logic behind it.
Yeah.
Like, if the degree of your gambling news is following a subreddit thread, bang, you could chuck some money on a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So it's almost like not fighting legislation aggressively. It's circumventing with another outlet to hit, which is going to be one of these things. Man, amazing. This has been very interesting, man. I had all these little points to cover, but I'm really glad that we went this different direction. And the one, I think, for a lot of our listeners as well, when we talk about these challenges of attribution, it's amazing to realize how you often have to go with quite like a manual approach to be analyzing billboards and then still with the stop counter, which is amazing to use kind of an old school way of doing something to get like an outcome that's extremely sophisticated. But then we've talked about crypto, we've talked about circumventing US legislation.
Yeah.
We've covered it all, man. So it's been amazing having you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time and being the first guy on our live stream. Well, it's not really a live stream, our live recording. But it's been phenomenal. So thanks so much, brother, for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that's it. And thank you to all the listeners and viewers and however you are watching. It's been a pleasure as always. That's it.